August 8th, 2510. Can't concentrate today. Haven't been able to for weeks. New ideas, recent insurgent reports, the ubiquitous eye of ONI watching me. How can I not be distracted? Setting up the new lab has consumed the last few months. I have doubts. I keep wondering whether this is the best course. How did I become involved in this? Carver's report on the colonies surely led me here. That scarcely begins to tell the story. We'll clarify my thoughts on this further when I get a chance to breathe. I found this journal in a quaint local shop. Good cup of coffee as well. On my last trip from the main base, writing does help to get it all out on paper, out of my head. I need a place to record my personal thoughts and the most sensitive research notes as I undertake this project, which I've simultaneously desired, been inspired by, and dreaded. Reach is the sum of all of those things, so it seems fitting that this journal begins here. Am I being sentimental? Yes. Pragmatic? Absolutely. Despite my artificial intelligence enhancing data recording and storage systems, I learned long ago that anything stored electronically can be retrieved electronically. I have no illusions that some within this organisation wouldn't hesitate to employ against me the very intrusion algorithms I helped devise if it suited their self-interests. Keep your friends close, and your enemies even closer. And I will. And so I begin, to learn whether humanity can be saved from itself, and the role I will play in its uncertain destiny. So that's the first excerpt from Catherine Halseys' diary. And it's quite interesting because she discusses earlier about the Carver report. The Carver findings were a set of theories written by Dr. Elias Carver that were published in 2491. The findings were ultimately summarised in the following sentence: unless the political situation throughout the colonies is stabilised, preferably by force, the government will collapse and civil war will rip human society apart. Many were sceptical of these theories but received purchase in ONI and the Admiralty, informing their strategies against the insurrectionists for decades, including the creation of the Spartan program. Carver would later commit suicide, believing that his theories had become a self-fulfilling prophecy causing the very insurrection that he had predicted. It's kind of understandable if such a report is put out to ONI top brass and they start taking steps to counter a theoretical report, then those steps could then incite the very rebellions that he predicted in his report in the first instance. So it's quite interesting that she brings this up at the very start, simply because that has predominantly informed most of her progress for the entire Spartan program and the ethically debatable decisions that she's made along the way. She also very briefly references the artificial intelligence data recording and storage systems that she's helped devise, knowing that things can be retained in electronic systems even when it seems like they've been purged completely, hence the need for a good old traditional pen and paper diary. So straight off the bat, there's not a huge amount of information that she gives us in the first excerpt. She does evidently lament, or at least ponder, how she became involved with this in the first instance, and certainly her presence as a civilian contractor within the Office of Naval Intelligence was influenced by somebody higher up in ONI, and it could be argued even that it might even be the Assembly themselves, which is the group of AIs that basically exist and make decisions for human culture. It may be that they decided that her potential and her reputation of being, well, a genius, for lack of a better word, especially with her interest in certain fields that would eventually culminate in the Spartan program and the creation of Mjolnir, that she needed to be in a military-funded environment to be able to produce this technology to help stabilize human culture. But it's interesting to know that even from the very beginning, she had trepidation and doubts about her involvement in the military-industrial complex, and how, even back then, somebody behind the scenes was pulling the strings.